Hello everybody and welcome to this poetry reading on behalf of Independent Arts. I hope you are well. I'm going to start off today's readings with one or two nonsense poems. The first one is very famous and I hope you'll enjoy it. It's called The Owl and the Pussycat and it's by Edward Lear. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a £5 note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar. "Oh, lovely pussy, oh, pussy, my love, what a beautiful pussy you are, you are, you are. What a beautiful pussy you are." Pussy said to the owl, "You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married, too long we have tarried, but what shall we do for a ring?" They sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows. And there in a wood a piggy-wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose, his nose, his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. "Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring?" said the piggy. "I will." So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon. And hand in hand on the edge of the sand, they danced by the light of the moon, the moon, the moon. They danced by the light of the moon. This next poem is called Winking, Blinking and Nod by Eugene Field. Winking, Blinking and Nod one night sailed off in a wooden shoe, sailed on a river of misty light into a sea of dew. "Where are you going and what do you wish?" the old moon asked the three. "We have come to fish for the herring fish that live in this beautiful sea. Nets of silver and gold have we," said Winking, Blinking and Nod. The old moon laughed and sang a song as they rocked in the wooden shoe, and the wind that sped them all night long ruffled the waves of dew. The little stars were the herring fish that lived in that beautiful sea. Now cast your nets wherever you wish, but never afeard are we. So cried the stars to the fishermen three, Winking, Blinking and Nod. All night long their nets they threw for the fish in the twinkling foam. Then down from the sky came the wooden shoe, bringing the fishermen home. 'Twas all so pretty a sail, it seemed, as if it could not be, and some folks thought it was a dream they dreamed of sailing that beautiful sea. But I shall name you the fishermen three, Winking, Blinking and Nod. Winking and Blinking are 2 little eyes, and Nod is a little head, and the wooden shoe that sailed the skies is a wee one's trundle bed. So shut your eyes while mother sings of wonderful sights that be, and you shall see the beautiful things as you rock in the misty sea, where the old shoe rocked the fishermen three, Winking and Blinking and Nod. Now this is a famous poem called The Jaberwocky and it's by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogroves, and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that snatch. Beware the Jubjub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal's sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And, as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffing through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumping back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, calloo callay, he chortled in his joy. The King's Breakfast by A. Milne. The King asked the Queen, and the Queen asked the dairymaid, could we have some butter for the royal slice of bread? The Queen asked the dairymaid. The dairymaid said, certainly, I'll go and tell the cow now, before she goes to bed. The dairymaid, she curtsied, and went and told the Alderney, don't forget the butter for the royal slice of bread. The Alderney said sleepily, you'd better tell His Majesty that many people nowadays like marmalade instead. The dairymaid said fancy, and went to Her Majesty. She curtsied to the Queen, and she turned a little red. Excuse me, Your Majesty, for taking of the liberty, but marmalade is tasty if it's very thickly spread. The Queen said, oh, and went to His Majesty. Talking of the butter for the royal slice of bread, many people think that marmalade is nicer. Would you like to try a little marmalade instead? The King said, bother. And then he said, oh dearie me. The King sobbed, oh dearie me, and went back to bed. Nobody, he whimpered, could call me a fussy man. I only want a little bit of butter for my bread. The Queen said, there, and went to the dairymaid. The dairymaid said, there, and went to the shed. The cow said, there, I didn't really mean it. Here's milk for his porringer, and butter for his bread. The Queen took the butter and brought it to His Majesty. The King said, butter, eh? And bounced out of bed. Nobody, he said, as he kissed her tenderly. Nobody, he said, as he slid down the banisters. Nobody, my darling, could call me a fussy man, but I do like a little bit of butter to my bread. Gran, Can You Rap? By Jack Owsby. Gran was in her chair. She was taking a nap when I tapped her on the shoulder to see if she could rap. Gran, can you rap? Can you rap? Can you, Gran? And she opened one eye and said to me, man, I'm the best rapping Gran this world's ever seen. I'm a tip-top, slip-slap, rap queen. And she rose from the chair in the corner of the room, and she started to rap with a bim-bam-boom. And she rolled up her eyes, and she rolled round her head, and as she rolled by, this is what she said. I'm the best rapping Gran this world's ever seen. I'm a nip-nap, yip-yap, rap queen. Then she rapped past my dad, and she rapped past my mother. She rapped past me and my little baby brother. She wrapped her arms narrow, she wrapped her arms wide. She rapped through the door, and she rapped outside. She's the best rapping Gran this world's ever seen. She's a drip drop, trip trap, rap rap queen. She rapped down the garden, she rapped down the street. The neighbours all cheered and they tapped their feet. She rapped through the traffic lights as they turned red. As she rapped round the corner, this is what she said: "I'm the best rapping Gran this world's ever seen. I'm a flip-flop, hip-hop, rap-rap queen." She rapped down the lane, she rapped up the hill, and as she disappeared, she was rapping still. I could hear Gran's voice saying, "Listen, man, listen to the rapping of the rap-rap Gran. I'm the best rapping Gran this world's ever seen. I'm a tip-top, slip-slap, nip-nap, yip-yap, hip-hop, trip-trap, touch your cap, take a nap, happy, 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 rap, rap queen." I rather like this next poem. It's called Warning by Jenny Joseph. When I am an old woman, I shall wear purple, with a red hat which doesn't go and doesn't suit me. And I shall spend my pension on brandy and summer gloves and satin sandals and say we've no money for butter. I shall sit down on the pavement when I'm tired and gobble up samples in shops and press alarm bells and run my stick along the public railings and make up for the sobriety of my youth. I shall go out in my slippers in the rain and pick flowers in other people's gardens and learn to spit. You can wear terrible shirts and grow more fat and eat 3 pounds of sausages at a go, or only bread and pickle for a week, and hoard pens and pencils and beer mats and things in boxes. But now we must have clothes that keep us dry and pay our rent and not swear in the street and set a good example for the children. We must have friends to dinner and read the papers. But maybe I ought to practice a little now, so people who know me are not too shocked and surprised when suddenly I am old and start to wear purple. She Walks in Beauty by George Gordon, Lord Byron. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes. Thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. This next poem is by Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was an American poet. She was a singer, a civil rights activist, and a phenomenon. This is a great poem. It's called Phenomenal Woman. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model's size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man the fellows stand, all fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's in the fire in my eyes, and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, and the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breasts, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need of my care. 'Cause I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. The Listeners by Walter de la Mare. Is there anybody there? Said the traveller, knocking on the moonlit door. And his horse in the silence champed the grasses of the forest's ferny floor. And a bird flew up out of the turret above the traveller's head, and he smote upon the door again a second time. Is there anybody there? He said. But no one descended to the traveller. No head from the leaf-fringed sill leaned over and looked into his grey eyes, where he stood, perplexed and still. But only a host of phantom listeners that dwelt in the lone house then stood listening in the quiet of the moonlight to that voice from the world of men. Stood thronging the faint moonbeams on the dark stair that goes down to the empty hall, hearkening in an air stirred and shaken by the lonely traveller's call. And he felt in his heart their strangeness, their stillness answering his cry, while his horse moved, cropping the dark turf 'neath the starred and leafy sky. For he suddenly smote on the door even louder and lifted his head. Tell them I came, and no one answered, that I kept my word, he said. Never the least stir made the listeners, though every word he spake fell echoing through the shadowiness of the still house from the one man left awake. Aye, they heard his foot upon the stirrup, and the sound of iron on stone, and how the silence surged softly backward when the plunging hooves were gone. I hope you enjoyed those readings today. They all come from this lovely book, Dancing by the Light of the Moon, a compilation of poems put together by Giles Brandreth. Take care, stay warm and stay well. Bye-bye, darlings.